Hello everyone, and welcome to another video of Handa Uncle and Ravi Handa. Today we are going to talk about electronic gold receipts. This is a new thing which has launched, and there is a lot of interest in it. Obviously, gold has traditionally been a very attractive asset for a lot of Indians. Personally, I have been advocating gold to a little extent of anywhere from 5 to 25% of your portfolio because it does act as a diversification tool. It provides a hedge against the equity ups and downs. It does tend to beat inflation over the long run. So let's dive in. What exactly are the EGRs, which are launched by the NSE, or the electronic gold receipts? So first of all, these are essentially demat securities that represent your ownership of gold. What I mean by that is that the gold which is there, that will be stored in a storage vault which is approved by SEBI, regulated by it and everything. So it's very well protected. But if you have to buy and sell it, you can actually do that on the stock exchanges. Pretty similar to how you buy any particular stock or share, you can very easily buy and sell EGRs on the exchanges as well. These EGRs are also available in 999 or 995 purity as well, which means 99.9% pure and 99.5% pure. And why that matters is because of a unique feature which these EGRs provide, which doesn't really exist in tradable securities, that you can actually convert it to physical gold if you want to. Yeah. So suppose you own these EGRs, you keep on owning these EGRs for, let's say, 20 years, and 20 years later, you go and say that, okay, I want to convert whatever EGRs I have to physical gold. You will be allowed to do that. And that makes it a little bit unique. Now, is this the best way to buy gold? Well, we can talk about that because there are multiple formats which are available. In my opinion, the best format to buy gold was sovereign gold bonds, but unfortunately, they don't exist as an option anymore. And I do think that EGR probably will become the best way to buy gold in the few years. Is it now the best way to buy gold? Maybe not. Let's just compare it with the other options which are there. So what are the other options that we can compare it with? Please understand, I'm not comparing it with sovereign gold bonds. Those are the undisputed best way, but they don't really exist anymore. And I don't really think that the government is going to issue fresh sovereign gold bonds. Because they are not there, let's just compare with the options which are there. So what are the options for buying gold today? A, this EGR new option has emerged. Other than that, you can go to a shop and buy physical gold. You can also buy digital gold on a large number of platforms. And then there is a gold ETF, which you can buy, like you can buy EGR on the stock exchanges. And very similarly, there are funds as well, which essentially keep their assets in gold ETFs. And you can buy them from any asset management company, like any other mutual fund. So what's the difference between them? First of all, as far as the regulation is concerned, EGR is SEBI regulated, very similar to the gold ETFs and the gold mutual funds which exist. They are all regulated by SEBI. But the physical gold that you're buying from a shop, obviously SEBI doesn't have anything to do with it. But not only that, even with the digital gold you buy, a lot of people believe that it is digital, so it's a security, it might be under the purview of SEBI. It is not. That does not mean it is illegal. Physical gold is not illegal to keep and own. Digital gold is not illegal to keep and own. They are perfectly legal and legitimate ways. It is just that they are not regulated by SEBI. Now, how do you actually hold these? Well, EGRs are held in your demat. The physical gold that you actually buy from a shop, you keep it at your house, you keep it in a bank locker, whichever format you like. The digital gold that you buy, that is typically kept on a platform. So it doesn't come to you there. The responsibility is of the platform. Now, how much do you trust that platform? That is on you, but there is no regulation there to actually protect you to that extent. And very similarly, the gold ETFs, They can be in demat, or if you're buying a mutual fund, they will exist as mutual fund units in your folio. Then comes the other important aspect, cost, which is where I believe EGR is emerging quickly as a winner. And those costs are, GST is a very important cost. In an EGR, there is no GST if you're buying it or selling it on an exchange. You remember the option that I talked about, that you can theoretically convert it to physical gold? When you actually do that, that is where GST is going to be applicable. On the other hand, when you buy physical gold, assuming you are buying it with white money, or when you buy digital gold, you have to pay a GST of 3%, which means your cost on day one goes up by 3%, or you're essentially losing out on that 3% on day one as soon as you buy physical gold or digital gold. In the ETFs as well, there is no GST which is involved. What are the other costs which are there? And this is where I believe EGR is essentially, a superior method. Whether it is physical gold that you are buying, whether it is digital gold you are buying, in both of them, any platform or every shop can set their own price. There will be some sort of a buy and sell spread. That means if you're buying gold for 15,000 rupees, but when you're selling gold, they will only give you 14,900 rupees and you lose out on that 100 rupees. In case of an EGR, nothing like that exists because you're buying and selling it on the exchange at whatever price it is there. The price remains constant throughout the country. One nation, one price. They're actually using this one nation, one price idea in the marketing for EGR. So that's a huge bonus, that the price is completely transparent, and whether you're a buyer or a seller, you're transacting at the same price. And then the charges which you have to pay. Now, in physical gold, the shop can have some sort of a making charge. When you are storing it in, let's say, a locker, you need to pay some sort of a storage charge over there. In case of digital gold also, some platform can actually charge you something extra. And some of the platforms actually do that if you keep it till 5 years, no storage charges. But after 5 years, we will start charging you a small storage fee. So all those charges come into the picture. In an ETF, or let's say if a mutual fund, gold mutual fund that you're buying, there you have to pay an expense ratio, which could be as high as a 0.3, 0.5% as well. And if you're buying a regular plan for a gold mutual fund, then it goes even higher. In case of an EGR, it is just that the brokerage or the exchange charges that you pay, which is going to be very, very minimal. Definitely much lesser than the charges that you're going to pay elsewhere. So without the GST and lower charges on the brokerage and exchanges, it makes it a really attractive buy if you're planning to invest in gold. Then comes the other idea of storage risk. When you take physical gold, the responsibility of storage lies on you. And you might be great, but you are not going to be as great as SEBI. You are not going to be as great as NSE in keeping the sick gold secure. Very similarly, when you buy digital gold, the responsibility lies on the platform from where you are buying. Again, much better than you as an individual, but still there is some sort of a platform risk that exists in that case. In case of a gold ETF or a fund, or in case of an EGR, this storage risk is not there. The other benefit, and which is where one of my friends, Arunim, who was planning to invest in gold, and he has an idea that, okay, I need to have this gold perhaps for long term. Maybe it will come in handy when my daughter gets married. And Arunim is the one who told me about EGRs and inspired me to make this video. So thanks, Arunim, if you're watching this. So what he talked about is the option to convert it to physical gold. That option makes it better than the ETFs and the gold funds which exist, because that is very, very important to him. He needs to have the option to convert it to physical gold whenever he wants, which in case of physical gold, it's already converted to gold. In case of digital gold also, most platforms give you an option to convert it, but that option does not exist in the ETFs and the funds. So that is where this gives a certain amount of advantage to the EGR. What is it good for? Well, physical gold, I don't really think it's good for anything other than consumption. So let's say if you want to buy jewelry, if you want to wear a chain, you have to do physical gold. And as my mom said, mutual fund ko gale mein latka ke ghumega kya? So that's one option where physical gold wins hands down. But for everything else, I don't think physical gold is that good of an idea. In case of digital gold, the charges that you end up paying are significant. So again, I don't really believe too much in digital gold either. Personally, I really like the gold ETF option, the gold fund options, and that is the options that I have been using till now. Prior to that, I was using the sovereign gold bond option. And now I believe if I ever buy gold again, then probably EGR is going to be my preferred option. However, I will like to add one thing here, that when you're buying and selling gold, because it is happening on an exchange, there needs to be liquidity for the same. And since it's a new product, the liquidity part of it is not really proven till now. So maybe you can wait a little bit, maybe a year, maybe two, or maybe just in a few months, you realize that there is enough liquidity which exists in case of EGRs. So that will be, one factor that I will very seriously consider before putting in money into EGR. The same thing was there with SGB. People said that, SGB, you cannot sell it and you cannot buy it very easily on the secondary market because the liquidity is not there. I have always found enough liquidity for SGB on the secondary market. It is not that we are selling kilos of gold that we want excessive liquidity. We'll be selling few hundred grams or just few grams, or buying or selling small quantities of SGBs. That was never a problem. And I do hope EGRs also turn out to be that way, where it isn't much of a problem to buy or sell. So do check them out. I really think that EGRs are a good idea. And I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, please remember to like, and do check out my website, my new website, handauncle.com. And hopefully we will be out with an app for that also very soon. So I look forward to you. Do try it out. Do tell me in the comments why you think that EGR is subpar compared to the other options. And trust me, I like arguing in YouTube comments. Thank you.